Hello, here's some ways that you can self-massage just using a tennis ball. Make sure you use quite a firm one, like a proper tennis ball. Often the ones from pet shops break when you lean against them, so try and get a sort of real tennis ball. I get mine second-hand off eBay. So I'll show you a few different ways we can do this stood up, some lay down, and I'll use some different angles so you can see what I'm doing. So against the wall, we're essentially leaning on it. Now you're not going to be able to see it because I'm going to be leaning, but I'm going to do a camera angle in a minute over there where you'll be able to see what's going on from the side. So basically, tennis ball, shoulder, place the ball against the wall, and you just lean into it and breathe. There's no need to move around loads and put that tension into things, just ease into it. The slower the better, to be honest. So you're just looking for those sort of really juicy little areas in between the shoulder blade and the spine that are nice and tense that you want to try and relieve. So when you find one of those useful bits, just breathe into it and lean. If you feel like you want to apply more pressure, just move your legs further away so that you're leaning properly. So you've got that in the shoulders. You can use this in the lower back as well. In the lower back, try not to lean all your weight into it because we don't have ribs there, so there's less protecting organs. That said, right next to the spine, the muscles can be quite thick there, so they can withstand a good amount of pressure. Notice how I'm sort of stabilising myself with my hand. That can be useful in the lower back because you've got some more control about the amount of pressure. You're breathing into it. You can either hold it still or move gently side to side. If you have serious health issues or previous injuries in these sort of areas to do with organs, be very cautious with leaning onto this. However, for the average person, this is really useful and it's not going to cause any harm. Really useful too in the glutes. So another one we can do stood up or seated if you are seated is massaging the pecs. So just take the tennis ball and just work on some of this area here. I mean, you could effectively do this anywhere. These kind of abs muscles are really quite thick and strong, and you're not really going to get much effect here. But this is one I like to try, and it's probably the most weirdest technique you'll encounter, but when you get it right, it's really good. So you just lean against a wall or door, and you're kind of hitting this point here, just in the middle of the ribs here. It's the solar plexus area, and it's also the diaphragm here under the lungs, and often it's just really tight here. You can sort of feel that when you press it in, so it can be really nice to lean into that. So I'm moving my legs apart here, and that's going to stabilise me. This one looks really weird, but it feels really good. Again, just breathe into it. but you've never looked that closely at the wall or cupboard before. So I can show you these same techniques whilst I'm stood here actually. So exactly what we did, just a side angle, just like so. There, anywhere on the back. Shoulders are the best though, and I think the glutes as well. Often people's upper glutes here are just so tight from sitting at a computer or inactivity or jogging, basically just life. So that can be really useful. Apologies if you can't see this properly, but you know what I'm doing here. Okay, and finally one for the floor. So for this one, if you're a little bit unstable on your feet, be near a wall or a surface that you can lean on. Or if you like the challenge of balancing, that's really good exercise in itself. So keep the rest of your body stable as you do this. Balancing exercises in general are really, really great for strengthening your feet muscles and helping with postural issues. And I'd really recommend you looking up some balancing exercises that you can just do at home. This is a really nice one to ease out foot tension. Another good thing about this one is you can do it while you're watching TV. So all the pressure points that we targeted on the back and the shoulders against the wall or the cupboards here, you can do on the floor as well if you want extra pressure. Again, it's going to be tricky for you to see from the side what's going on, but you're going to get the idea. So literally just place under the shoulder. Oh, that's instantly very effective. And where I'm targeting, it's like where your shoulder blade, you can kind of feel the edge of it in between spine and shoulder blade. You'll know when you get there. So you're looking for a kind of satisfying good pain. What I mean by that, it's like it's doing something and it kind of feels slightly challenging, but it's nice as well, and you're able to relax and breathe into it. If you're finding that doing this is just really uncomfortable and hurting you, then obviously change activity. But most people find this really, really useful. Here I'm moving my arm around because it helps to access different points in the shoulder. Again, you can use this on the glutes. For the lower back, I'd say, unless you're quite a strong, fit person and you're used to doing different exercises, be careful on the lower back because, as I said, you don't have ribs there to protect things. But if you're pretty strong and sturdy and healthy, then go for it. And that's just useful around here, where just next to the spine, sort of along the side. And last but not least, the glutes, which is always so useful. You can either hold still like this or kind of move your legs around so that you can get different angles. Do some nice deep breaths to try and relieve that tension. I always feel like I could do this for hours, but I'll let you go. So, hope you have fun with your tennis ball.